Hey guys, headed home from a trip and just wanted to get something off my mind real quick. Yesterday I listened to a podcast and watched a YouTube video on a functional fitness company. I won't name them, but they purport to train some of the, or their principles are purported to arise from the movement patterns of some of the greatest athletes ever, and their name rhymes with a certain type of cheese. And I think what irks me so bad about this company is that they're confusing specificity. They're misunderstanding specificity, for one, and secondly, they're confusing specificity with practice and skill development. And if you think about a hierarchy of training goals and needs, specificity has to occupy a place of primacy in that hierarchy. And training is a process by which you develop or improve upon certain athletic qualities. And if you're intelligent, you want to train the specific athletic qualities that will be required of you, or that you will need to call upon when you play your sport. And training is a process, and it's not to be confused with practice. Practice is skill development. For instance, if you're a golfer or a basketball player, then the majority of your time you should devote to practicing the skills that you will need for your sport. For a golfer, that would be playing golf. Get on the driving range, drive some balls, work on your short game, do some putting. So the lion's share of your time for a basketball player, shoot free throws, shoot threes, do layups, learn how to dribble, learn the plays. That should take up the lion's share of your time. Training is just a process through which you develop the athletic qualities that you'll need to display when you play basketball or golf. And the goal of most traditional strength and conditioning programs is to increase your strength, particularly the types of strength. Absolute strength is it's hard to think of a scenario in which getting stronger would not be beneficial. Why you wouldn't want to build that athletic quality. But there are certain sports where you would want to focus more on endurance. If you're a cross-country runner, not that you should neglect strength, but you want to focus on endurance. Almost with all sports, particularly all contact sports, baseball and basketball as well, you want to incorporate some sort of training that, to the degree you can improve upon it, increases your explosive athletic abilities and your speed, strength, speed, and your absolute strength. Your training does not need to look like your practice or your sport. And in fact, if it does, you're probably compromising both. And the example I can use here is to take, let's use a basketball. Let's say using some of the principles I've heard some of these companies espouse, that you want to develop your strength, the athletic quality of strength, at the same time you're developing the skill of playing basketball. So you might think to yourself, well, I don't need to go in the gym and do squats or power cleans or jerks or push presses. I just need to get me a basketball that, instead of whatever a basketball weighs, 800 grams, 7 whatever, I'm going to get a 8-pound medicine ball and shoot it like it's a basketball. That way I'm developing my strength at the same time as I'm developing my skill. You are doing neither. That amount of weight is not sufficient to trigger a substantive strength increase, and it is not specific enough to shooting the much lighter basketball to basically have any what's called dynamic correspondence to the sport of playing basketball. So if you try to mix these two up, you're basically compromising both. And to this one particular company, they spend all of their time and energies trying to basically reinvent the way an athlete or a practitioner of their system stands, moves, walks, and at all costs prevent your knee and your ankle, for your inside ankle bone from being low and your knee from falling into the valgus position. I don't know about how much time you guys have to train and practice, but they think that performing classical lifts that improve strength somehow ingrains in an athlete some sort of awful movement pattern that will be neurologically ingrained for life, and therefore the athlete is compromised for the rest of their lives, the rest of their athletic career, and that they're going to get injured and they'll never reach their full potential. And if they do reach their full potential, it'll be short-lived because they don't stand and move and walk right. They may be right to some degree with some athletes kind of have a knock-kneed stance. Zion Williamson comes to mind, and maybe some sort of medical intervention, some sort of orthopedic surgeon can help him and do something to cause him to push off the outside of his foot instead of using the inside of his foot when he moves laterally. However, Zion Williamson is already one of the greatest basketball players around. He was the #1 pick, and in one of the videos, this I almost said their name, this movement company, this functional fitness company highlighted as they showed an Olympic weightlifter performing a maximum effort snatch, or it may have been a clean and a jerk, I don't remember. And at the bottom, like I said, it was in competition, a maximum 1 rep max competition lift, and at the bottom of their in the catch position of either the snatch or the clean, their knee fell into what they call the valgus position, which basically means that their knees kind of came in because they're absorbing the load at the bottom. And they talked about how horrible this was, and this this neurological pattern will cause this athlete to be injured. And I just wanted to point out that that lifter made the lift and actually, I believe, medaled and may have won the competition. And getting back to, I don't know how much time you guys have to train your athletes, but most kids, most collegiate and high school athletes, they're in school all day. They have practice after school, lots of homework, so they have a finite amount of time to train and practice. I don't want to steal time away from the practice or the training to try to teach these athletes to completely reinvent the way that they stand and ambulate in their environment. So you go ahead and do that. Sign up for their program. Pay their $300 to learn how to push off the outside of your foot and never fall into valgus. And while you're doing that, other athletes are going to be training to get stronger, to get faster, to build more endurance, and they're going to be practicing their skill. And you can sit on the bench or stand on the sidelines with perfect form and watch them play. That's just kind of my 2 cents on the topic, and I wanted to get that off my chest. Sorry for the bouncing video, and catch you next time.